Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Superficial. We are chiropractors and functional medicine practitioners at Synapse Center for Health and Healing, located in Eagan, Minnesota. Information shared in this podcast is not intended to diagnose or treat any medical conditions. Please consult with a primary care provider before engaging in any new activity or protocol. With that in mind, let's dive into this episode.
I'm Kari from Synapse Center for Health and Healing, and we are coming from the Synapse Renew division, and I want to introduce to you Kala. Kala, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Kala. I am the new advanced practice esthetician here at Synapse Renew. This is my very first podcast, so I'm really excited to be here today.
I just have some questions that I have written down here, that I have typed out here, that I think will kind of go over what questions we get most often about who you are and what you do here.
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, can you share what your path was to becoming an esthetician?
Yeah, so my journey didn't start until later in life. I graduated high school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I went for my general education. And then after that, I started nannying, and I nannied for the same family for about 7 years. So really caring for people was kind of my forte, and I kind of always loved makeup and skincare routine. I really loved doing that on myself, and really got into it when I turned 27, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to school, figure this out, and absolutely fell in love with it, and here I am today.
What's the difference between an advanced practice esthetician or an esthetician?
So a basic esthetician does waxing, more facials, just things on the surface of the skin, whereas advanced practice esthetician, you can do microneedling, dermaplaning, peels, more of those services to kind of create that change in the skin versus just a relaxing facial or hair removal.
What services do you offer that people might not know what, I think some people might not even know what an esthetician is, but what services do you offer that people don't know that estheticians can do?
Yeah, so it varies between different states. I think in Minnesota particularly, we can do the microneedling and the dermaplaning. So in a lot of states, they can't do those services. You have to either be an RN or something more higher, but in Minnesota they let us go on to a 4-month, 3-month extra course to learn all of those other services so that we can practice that in our state.
Great.
Yeah.
We're excited to offer those services here. So how do you describe your approach to skin health?
Well, it's very holistic. I really like being able to create change at the same time. So with our skincare line, Circadia, I love it because it still is a medically graded line, but it still creates that change in the skin. And I always compare it to a lot of their stuff pregnant women can use, other than, maybe the retinols and stuff like that you should really avoid. But their vitamin C you can use because it's more repairing. It's a lot better than maybe some other vitamin C. So I really like to compare it to a pregnant person because they can't do a lot of different things when they are pregnant. So with our skincare line, you can be, and it's great.
We put a lot of research. Kala did a lot of homework with finding a skincare line that was medical grade, that would make changes in the skin, but also non-toxic.
Yes.
Since we are a non-toxic clinic, we wanted to still have non-toxic skincare products that we can use on our clients. So
Absolutely.
We're excited that we have that here. And what types of services that you offer here will be different than what might be offered at a typical spa?
Yeah, so since we are a medical place, I can offer PRP microneedling, exosome microneedling, where at, maybe a regular practice, you wouldn't be able to do that because you need the nurses, you need other things, licenses to be able to do that as an advanced practice esthetician. So I think it's really cool that I get to practice those things here because I am under a licensed person to be able to do that.
Can you tell us a little bit, since you mentioned PRP, what's a difference between getting a microneedling session versus a PRP microneedling?
Yeah, so a regular microneedling is just a session where we kind of, I cleanse the face, then I numb the face so that you really don't feel anything when I'm doing that service. And then I would put like hyaluronic acid, but instead of the hyaluronic acid, I would do the PRP, which comes from your blood. So a nurse would take that and then spin it, and then we'd get that little
platelet-rich plasma.
Get that in between.
The really healthy stuff.
Yes, the really healthy stuff. We eject that, and then I put it into your face as I'm microneedling it in, which is really fun.
And you put that just on top, right?
On the top, and then I microneedle it in.
Great.
And some people do it different. Some people like to microneedle first and then put it on and then microneedle it again. So everybody, I think, kind of has their own way of doing it, but I prefer to put it on, then microneedle it in. But yeah, the difference between that is it's just getting a lot of those platelet-rich plasma into your skin for a faster cellular turnover rate and a faster heal-over rate. So
I know when I had the PRP facial, I loved how typically if I have microneedling, my skin stays a little swollen after and red, but with the PRP, it looked perfectly fine the next day. It didn't even look like I had microneedling done, and so it was very like anti-inflammatory for my skin, and just helped the glowiness, I guess, of my skin afterward, and that there really wasn't any downtime because of the PRP. And I know that it's doing, the proteins that are rich in our blood then in that skin there, and when it's needled into the skin, and then there is, the collagen production and the, repairing the skin at a deeper level.
And I think that's really important that you said too, like you did get swollen, you did get red, and that's what we want. We're creating that wound response so that your body, so it's basically tricking your brain into thinking something's attacking it, so it's going to send the proper proteins, the collagen and elastin, to the surface of your skin, which really helps diminish fine lines, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, acne scars, anything like that. It's really going to produce like that turnover rate, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really great.
Do you believe that skin health is connected to internal wellness?
I do, absolutely. And I really go back to, cystic acne or psoriasis. That's an autoimmune disorder that, can only be fixed within the body. And if we're only doing topical stuff, it's really not getting to the root of the problem. You're just, topically, and you might see some changes, and that's really great, but yes, you do have to fix it internally, which is what I love about this practice too, is that we have practitioners here to be able to, that I can send people to be able to find that root cause, and then we can fix the problem with their skin with my skincare products and everything like that, but really getting to the root of that problem is going to be important.
Well, even with acne, right? So, you can treat the acne with the amazing skincare products that you have and calm it down. But if we don't fix the problem internally and figure out why is the body responding with inflammation, it's going to continue to come back. So we work together in that way where we can work on the internal and she works on the external. And so what are some of the most popular treatments, and what skin concerns do they help?
So some of my favorite services are the dermaplaning, the peels, and microneedling. The more advanced services is what I really love because you can really see that change. And like I said with microneedling, it really helps with acne scars, hyperpigmentation, and fine lines and wrinkles. And you can really see those changes. And my grandma is such a really good example of that. I did my 6-week project on her when I was in school, and we did peels and microneedling and then different things in between as well. But her skin transformed into something that she just felt confident and beautiful in her own skin. And that's something that I really, really love about these treatments, is that you can transform somebody's skin, but also really making sure you're being due diligent with your skincare routine, because that is 80% of what your skin looks like. And she really did that, and I just, it was such a great outcome, and you can check those out on our Synapse Renew Instagram page to see those results. And it was only 6 weeks, amazing. Like I said, and she had
her
great
supporting
results.
with skincare products besides seeing you. She was still using good skincare at home. Because that's so important. That's 80%. Because if you're only seeing me, some of these services, you can only see me once a month. So that's really just going to help boost that collagen production. But if you're doing an everyday skincare routine, that's really going to make the most difference in your skin. So I think that's important. Yes, I agree. Can you, since you brought up even dermaplaning earlier, can you walk us through what that service looks like from kind of start to finish?
Yeah. So what I do, I always do a double cleanse just to make sure the surface of the skin, we're getting that debris, that makeup off, really making sure it's clean before the service. And then I take a surgical blade, and you can do this with oil or without oil. My preference is with oil. I like to dermaplane over the skin with oil. But really making sure we're getting that skin nice and taut, and then just lightly scraping the surface of the skin to exfoliate the exterior, get those dead skin cells off of the surface of the face, and then you just come out looking so glowy and nice. And I love that instant, like, oh my word, this is the best service. You know?
And then even if, applying skincare products, there's not that fine hair to go through.
The peach fuzz.
And makeup, if you wear foundation, then it goes on so smooth. So much.
And then the product penetration is so much better too, just because it doesn't have those little vellus hairs or peach fuzz that is blocking from penetrating into your skin. So.
Who would benefit most from microneedling, from dermaplaning, and even we'll talk a little bit about the LED therapy too after this.
Yeah, so like I said, anybody with scarring, like acne, pitted scarring on their face would really, really benefit from microneedling. Fine lines and wrinkles as well with microneedling. Dermaplaning, anybody can do. I love this service. I mean, you can do it from 18 to 80, which is really great. I mean, it's just such a great service. It's such a feel-good service where you're just like, oh, I need that done. And then what was the other question? Sorry.
I wanted to ask you about, we get some questions about, you offer LED therapies after your facials. So why are they helpful, and who benefits from that?
So each light does something different. So let's say somebody's coming in for acne and they really want to try and decrease that acne. So I'm going to put them under a blue light so that it kills the bacteria on the surface of the skin. Or somebody with hyperpigmentation. Green light therapy is so good for hyperpigmentation. And then red light is for healing, producing collagen production, which is amazing. That's one of my favorite. Infrared light is really, really great for that. And then yellow light is for anti-aging. So there's just different lights. So it just depends on what each person's specific skincare needs are in order to...
It was a perfect add-on to having a facial.
Absolutely,
So tell me about, what is your goal when someone comes in for a treatment?
I just really want to be able to make people feel confident in themselves, whether that just be a relaxing facial. I want people to just walk out and be like, oh, that was really great. Or, wow, I'm really seeing changes in my skin. And going back to my grandma, I think that was such a feel-good moment for me, for her to just be like, oh my word, my skin looks amazing. This is what I was hoping for out of these treatments. And so when somebody leaves my room, it's just, I want them to be confident and feel good about themselves.
And you can customize a service for different people. So your list of services have different facial names, different masks. How come they're different? How can you customize them for each client?
So before each service, I always like to do a consultation with them, just asking them, okay, is your skin dry? What is your biggest concerns? More of those things of where I can kind of gauge on how to customize. So let's say somebody's coming in for aging. I'm going to customize their treatment, or hyperpigmentation. So I'm going to use something brightening, maybe like a vitamin C or a mist has something in it to brighten their skin, but also very hydrating too, because anti-aging, they're very dry. Or aging clients are very dry, they tend to be. So I really like to moisturize their skin. So just being able to listen to your clients and really hearing them what they need, because most of the time they don't know what they need. So they're coming into you to ask you and to get your advice on things. So really being able to know your products and being able to listen to your client of, okay, they said this, and this is what I'm going to give them.
Yeah, and Circadia has so many options for even different mists for every different condition, and different masks for different conditions. One of our favorite is called Marshmallow Mask.
Marshmallow Whip.
Marshmallow Whip.
Yes.
Smells amazing, and it really calms down the skin, and you can speak a little more to that. It's a great, we have many different masks.
We do. We have multiple masks, so don't worry on the shortage of that. But what I love about this too is that there's no synthetic fragrance in any of our skincare products. You will smell, there are natural scented stuff in the skincare, but it's not synthetic, and that's what I really, really love, is that they're not creating anything to please you, but it's very, very calming, very hydrating, very, very nice, subtle smells, I would say.
I agree. They are nice. How would you say that your work and your services complement working in a functional medicine clinic? You kind of touched on it a little a bit earlier, but go ahead.
So just being holistic and being able to practice kind of what I want, something that I value in skincare, and just being able to help people. And then, like I said too before, where it's just I'm able to help my clients more if they do have that internal problem or internal gut, something internal. I can just send them to a practitioner and they can say, yep, this is the problem, and then we can go from there, which is really great. I mean, at other clinics, you really can't do that. You'd have to send them to a completely different place.
Right.
And some people just don't like to jump through those hoops, so it's really nice that we offer all of those things here.
Yes, and we can create a package that's for the functional medicine part with the complement of aesthetics, or the aesthetics with the complement of let's check your gut, let's see what's going on in there, let's check what's causing this inflammation, and even the immune system response that happens with psoriasis. What's driving that, and how can we help that? Working together. And can you tell us a little about Circadia skincare?
Yeah, it's a scientifically backed formulation, and it goes with the skin's natural circadian rhythm. So it's really great for functional medicine. It drives everything naturally from what's already happening with your skin, protects you from the day and night, so they have a day and night time
so the daytime
regimen.
Products are protecting from
pollution, free radicals, all of those things, the sun's UV rays, all of that stuff in the daytime. And then at night, it's going to have a totally different regimen to kind of revamp, let's say.
Repair,
rejuvenate. Hydrate, do all of that stuff during the nighttime, which is really, really great.
Yeah, the moisturizers I would use at night, I wouldn't walk around in the day in, because they would be too heavy and shiny.
And sometimes some of those products attract the sun, so we wouldn't want to put those products for nighttime on the day.
Good point.
So, so we want to protect during the day, and then you can do the more UV attracting stuff at night.
Great.
Yes.
So tell us how someone can get started with you.
Yes.
They want to see you.
So you can either call Synapse Renew or go on our website at synapserenew.com, and you can see all of the services that I offer, and then call the number that's on the website as well, so that you can book an appointment with me or a consultation if you're confused on anything that I have. If you have any questions, you can just go on synapserenew.com. And
the website has information on every specific facial
Yes.
and all of the different services that you offer.
Yes.
And you can actually book from there. You can book a consult from there. You can book an appointment from there.
Yeah.
And quickly before we close, can you talk a little bit about, so Circadia offers non-toxic chemical peel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that chemical peel can be kind of a scary subject for people. So I wanted you to tell our listeners and viewers, what's the difference in, say, a facial with a mask, skincare, versus getting the non-toxic chemical peel done?
Yeah, so the chemical peels, non-toxic chemical peels, are going to get deeper into the skin. So you might have some light peeling, like a sunburn kind of would, but it's lactic acid, so it's or we can do enzyme peels as well, and that's just going to hit the surface of the skin, just kind of sloughing off all of that dead skin. But the lactic acid ones, we have so many different types of peels here, which I think is really great for different variety of skin. So if you're coming in for acne, it's really great for acne, or if you just want to fix your hyperpigmentation, aging, there's different peels that you can pick from that I will pick from that's specifically for your needs, and if you're more sensitive. But there are a lot of very good acids in there. So I don't want to scare you by saying that, but lactic acid is one of my favorite. It's very sensitive. It's very you're going to get those results that you want through
clearer
these
skin.
peels.
I love that my skin looks just clearer and brighter, having that top dead skin layer that you can't always get off. And can somebody book just a peel with you?
No. So you have to come in for a consultation, and I normally start with an enzyme peel, and it depends on if you've had other peels before, but I would never start somebody on just a regular chemical peel. That would not be beneficial for your skin. I just want to make sure that you're going to be reacting well, and I don't want to just throw you in.
You know what they're using at home, so that their skin's ready to receive a chemical peel.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the education on home care products is really important, because a lot of people don't know what they're actually putting on their skin. So I think it's really important for you to read the ingredients, or know, or maybe bring your products in too. If you don't really know, then I can read the products and make sure that there's no retinols, because that can counteract with the peels. And so, we just want to make sure that you're using the right skincare and you're getting off of all of your other stuff before you come in for a chemical peel too. So.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking this time to let everybody know that you're here and what you offer. So, and I also just want to add a good reason for having an esthetician on staff too is a lot of the work we do is based on lifestyle change, and people need to regulate their nervous system to get into rest, digest, and heal. So if we're in fight or flight all the time, we're not healing there. And our focus here is helping people to heal. So if we can get them into parasympathetic nervous system where their body can heal, and a great way to do that is a massage with the facial. So getting a facial that has a nice massage, the lights will be dim in here, she has nice music playing, and it's kind of just a sanctuary in here apart from the rest of the clinic, the hustle and bustle, and getting that nice massage and time where you are having self-care is a great way to regulate your nervous system and help with your healing journey that you're already on here. So if you want to reach out and get an appointment with Kala, go on our website, or you can call us at 651-209-9906. Thanks.
That concludes today's episode of Beyond the Superficial. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more episodes. For more information, please visit our website, www.officialsynapse.com, your partners in healthy living for optimal life. We would love to hear from you on how our podcast might be impacting your life. We also want to hear what interests you. Please leave your feedback on our media page at www.officialsynapse.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.